Can you tell me what it is in people that makes another want to take a life? Can you tell me what it is in people? Can you tell me what it is in people? Can you tell me what it is in people that makes another want to take a life? Can you tell me what it is in people? Can you tell me what it is in people?
Thank you very much. I think I'd just like to start by just giving a big shout out to Rob and the Dora Love filmmakers, because it was really wonderful, wasn't it? I mean, such strength, talking about, in these terrible times, talking about transformation, being different, being radical, being visible, being happy. And I was a member of Gay Liberation, and it was one of the most important political and personal experiences of my life, absolutely. And I met wonderful people, and people I still count as my friends today. So I asked myself now, the song Face of the Future, I thought, well, I'm not the face of the future, I'm 80 now. I can't be the face of the future. But I do think, and I'm sure like everybody else, I'm really worried and concerned about the growth of right-wing populism in Europe, across the world, and of course particularly what's happening under Trump in America. And I think these are terrible and real threats. And it seems to me that trying again to create that progressive alliance on an international as well as a national level is really one of the most important things that we can do. And I think these films actually give us the empathy and inspiration and confidence and pride to do that.
Well, the Dora Love Prize is first and foremost an educational initiative. And we work primarily, the Canadian students were slightly older, with 13 to 15-year-olds, many of whom don't even think of themselves as activists, or if they want to be an activist, they kind of think no one will listen to us. So what we are doing is the starting point is the Holocaust, but not the Holocaust as it is usually taught in schools. It's about 8 hours in history in year 9. Focusing solely on the fate of the Jewish people, which is, of course, very important, but it's not all. What we try to do is convey an inclusive sense of the Holocaust with all the groups that were targeted by the Nazis. And that immediately, and you see that when you work with those young people, that immediately creates the kind of thought, oh, what is happening today? It's this compare and contrast attitude, and that is exactly what we want. We want to include all the groups persecuted, marginalized, discriminated against, etc., murdered by the Nazis, and all the groups persecuted, marginalized, discriminated today. But in contrast to what Peter said, which I support wholeheartedly, with the Dora Love Prize, many of the young people are initially kind of overwhelmed. What can we do with all the problems that are there? So our approach is think big, but start small. Start in your local community, in your school, and see what you can do there. The task that these students get in the Dora Love Prize is to develop a project where they link what they learn about the Holocaust with the world they live in today, and look forward into the future of what they can do to create a more inclusive society that doesn't exclude people because of their identity. What they can do against identity-based hate, violence, discrimination, and worse. And when the judges look at the projects at the end of the school year, one important criterion is what we call dissemination, which is basically another word for activism. What do the students do with their project so that it doesn't just stay in their group, the group that actually developed the projects, but that it goes out and has impact. And I think we have been successful beyond my expectations at any rate, even though Anglea very rightly said that she had never heard of it, which is part of the problem of a small organization that doesn't have the publicity that it should get. That is also why we made this film, in order to go out and announce what we are doing. And what we are doing with terms of activism is very similar to what you did in the early 1970s with the GLF. We try to be inclusive. LGBTQ plus rights are an important part, as is shown in this film, but it covers all the groups. It covers racial discrimination. It covers discrimination of women in societies where women's rights are being eroded back. And therefore, it is a mantra that I repeat basically everywhere where I go. If the Holocaust teaches us anything clearly and loudly, it is when the human rights of one group are violated, no group can feel safe. And what I find particularly comforting in the very, very grim times that we are living in at the moment, and I'm very, very pessimistic, but whenever I work with these young students, they give you a sense that maybe, just maybe, there might be a chance that we could still stem the hatred, the violence that comes from Trumpist supporters and all the people here in Europe, Nigel Farage and Reform UK, AfD in Germany, Hungary, and I could go on and on. But these young people, yes, they are not the majority probably, but they give you a sense that maybe, just maybe, not everything is lost. And some of them will be the activists of the future. They will go on, continue what was started in the 1970s. After 14 years of running this Dora Love Prize, I know that some of them do. And those are the seeds that we are kind of planting. And where these ideas from the 1970s, which are now being rolled back everywhere, and we need to battle it, they need to take over the baton and fight the battle for us. They are the face of the future. They are, yes, and they need to do what we started and what is now being rolled back. But I will join them happily on the barricades, but they need to take the lead, and I'm fairly sure they will.
Time to even say I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I've got a name, we'll be the generation